All right, guys. I was just reminded of something. If you guys knew me when I was a kid and knew anything about my father taught me how to defend myself starting at about 10 years old. How to block punches, kicks, if somebody throws something at you from across the room, because that's what he was doing to me. I ain't lying to you. I had to learn the hard way. Nobody gave me any instructions. By the time I was in my, I don't know, late 30s, early 40s, maybe 45, I can't remember. It was out in Arizona. I do know that. I think it's been about 20 years since I lived out there, so that would put me around 43, 44, 45, somewhere around that. Um, I was just recently reminded. Uh, I used to tell people all the time, and I still am the same way today. No man, I fear no man. No man do I fear. I don't care if they've got badges on, guns on, all that stuff. I gotta get this cigarette smoke blown the opposite way. It didn't. It's never mattered in my life. I fear no men. But the first time you see some things in your life, you realize, oh hell, oh yeah. Now I'm gonna tell you what made me do the oh hell no. And me, I took my family basically. It was my brother-in-law, ex-brother-in-law now. That was a long time back. Two of my nephews hit my ex-brother-in-law's sons, my son, and me. I took them up to an old mine shaft, copper mine, or it was a mine. It did have a down shaft in it as well, but I drove them up there in my truck all the way to the very entrance, or it would have been a long walk up. But I drove them up to the entrance because I did things like that. And they wanted to go in, check it out. I said, well, the shaft is about 100 yards back in the mountain. Let's do it. So I start looking around in my truck. I can only find two little like pin lights like this right here. But it's totally black inside there, so that stuff lights up pretty good. I gave one to my brother-in-law because he had his sons following him, and I kept one for myself, and I was leading them, so my son was behind me. Two flashlights, five guys. Now, my son and the two nephews were probably teenagers anyway, and they are all three bigger than me at this point. Now, me, when I lived out in Arizona, I carried a gun on my hip all the time, folks. I mean, all the time, especially if I was out in the desert. I don't know what size. It could have been a 45. It could have been a 9mm. It didn't matter. I had a gun on my hip. We head back in that mine shaft, and like I said, I'm leading them because I know the way back into where the shaft is, and there's a couple of, or one or two spots that goes off to the wrong direction. It don't go back to the shaft, it just goes back to a dead end. So I'm guiding them back that way, and my brother-in-law's bringing up the the rear with his little pen light for him and the rest of them behind me, and I'm guiding. I've got my light guiding up, pen light guiding up to the shaft. Well, I was the first one to walk into where the big shaft was that goes straight down, and it's about 70 or 80% filled with water. It's 100 and some feet deep, and we're up on a mountain in the desert of Arizona. But it's still got it has all the timbers that they use to build that shaft to go straight down. Well, as I'm walking in, I see something jump out of the dark in through my light and go down into the shaft. And I'm like, what in the hell was that? And so I start walking over. It happened so quick, I wasn't looking directly at it when it happened, but I saw it happen out peripheral vision and stuff. So I walk over and I start look down into that shaft. There was about 20, 25 feet to the water, but the timbers were all still there. Mountain lion. Let me say this again. Mountain lion standing on them timbers. Now, my son, two of my nephews, and my brother-in-law standing behind me. I have a gun on my hip. I boom right back down. I ran out of there. I left them all in there. I had the gun, folks, but inside a stone carved mine, you don't want to be shooting any guns. That thing could ricochet all over, kill everybody, one bullet. So I knew I couldn't shoot this thing. I jetted out of there. And I made it all the way back to my Jeep. It wasn't a Jeep, it was a Silverado 4-wheel drive truck. I made it out to my truck. And then I thought, oh man, I left them back here. My brother-in-law has one little pen light. They don't know the actual route to get back out of there. They go down one of the blind sides or the dead ends. And I was like, oh, heck. I cocked my gun, got it ready, put it back in the holster, and I went back in. Now I'm trying to be tough. I got back to him. The mountain lion stayed back in there. We spooked him as bad as he spooked us. But I'm telling you what, I don't run from men. I don't run from women, and I don't run from cops. But one thing I will run from is a mountain lion. Make no doubt about it. I've seen myself do it. And my family members saw it at that time, family members. They saw me do it as well. But I did come back for them. Hey, one of my stupid stories, but it's true. God loves you. I love you. If you don't listen to anything else I say, seek Jesus. Just seek Jesus. If you guys do that, the rest will fall into your lap. All I'm trying to do is get you to seek Him. Just do that. I beg you. I love you. Till next time.